students.
Welcome to our podcast with Houston Community College VAST program. Thank you, everybody, for joining us for this episode on March 7th, 2024. This is another episode from Jaws Coffee Chat, normally with Jennifer A. Whitaker, but she couldn't make it today. So I'm Elizabeth Oberkirsch with Oh My VA Admin Services. And today we are here with our host, Sandra Pierce. And it looks like a great panel. So I will let her introduce her guests to you in a minute. We always want to give a special thanks to some great folks for replaying our shows on their platform. Zach Clayton of the PACT channel, Jay Stoyan of the Disability channel, and Lawrence Wingate Studios. We definitely appreciate their support and participation. So be sure to like, share, and subscribe to our social media pages, our groups, our YouTube channels, or wherever it is you came to find out about us today. So like I said, looks like we have a great panel, so let's dive right in. Sandra, over to you.
Awesome. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Sandra Pierce, and I'm with Houston Community College, Director of Employment Services. And we are here today to share information with you all on the VAST Academy. Of course, this is the Ability VAST segment of the podcast. And I have with me here 3 representatives of our Northwest campus. We are so excited to come to you today to kind of share information about one program that we are piloting, actually how services are being delivered that we're piloting at our Northwest campus. So I have 3 of my excellent, very informative co-workers that are here with you today. We have Dina Webster, who is the project manager of the Northwest Campus VAST. We have Elise Gurka, who is our transition specialist. And then we have a new member of our team, Antoinette Thompson-Smith, who is our instructional support specialist. So what we're going to do here today is share information with you on our Work Keys program that is happening at our Northwest campus. And so I am going to be interviewing some of that staff at the Northwest campus, and we're going to share information with you all on Work Keys. So welcome, everyone. How are y'all doing this afternoon?
Hi, thank you. Thank you for having us.
Awesome. So, hey, guys, I'm going to throw the questions out to you, and I want you to, feel free, whoever wants to jump in to handle that question. I want you to take ownership. We are so excited to hear what is happening with our Northwest campus. So we are excited to kind of share with everyone about the Work Keys program. This is something that we are looking at transitioning to our other campuses. So take it away, guys. Tell me about Work Keys.
Thank you. I just also want to add, so beginning last fall, not only am I a transition specialist, I actually teach 2 classes for our Monday, Wednesday cohorts. I thought it would be a good idea, since I was familiar with the Work Keys, to be the one to help implement it into our Monday, Wednesday cohort. First of all, I want to tell you a little bit of background information about Work Keys. It's a system that was developed by ACT, formerly known as American College Testing. It contains the following. It contains job profiling, it contains assessment, and curriculum. And curriculum is what we are what we began in the fall to use as the curriculum to teach our students with intellectual and developmental disabilities, our Monday, Wednesday cohort. The areas of the areas of Work Keys today that we're focusing on is the NCRC and the curriculum. The NCRC is the National Career Readiness Certificate. We at VAST thought it would be beneficial to allow our students the opportunity to earn their own NCRC certificate, which is nationally recognized credential. It is, if earned, it will be able to supplement their VAST certificate of completion. It's nationally recognized. It's an employability credential. It validates an individual's workplace skills. It's the #1 workforce credential in the country. It's recognized in all 50 states. Also, as we tell our students, this credential is meaningful to add to their resume. Once their certificate is in credential is earned, they can then go through the process of getting a digital badge to add to their signature line on an email and or to their LinkedIn page. Earning this CRC allows someone to demonstrate to a prospective employer the basic skills necessary to perform the functions of a job. It is also a great indicator of the applicant's trainability. And we know our students already come with an extra obstacle in their way. So what we wanted to do was have such a systematic curriculum that we would be able to know where our students are rather than assume where they are. And as with any good educator,
right.
We also not only, there is not just one curriculum.
Right.
You've got to implement other materials and other resources into the curriculum so that the students can learn the information in different ways.
Yes.
Let's see. So the certificate, again, was developed by ACT to help employers by certifying that a recipient possesses competency skilled. The ones for the NCRC is applied math, graphic literacy, and workplace documents. It's required by more than 90% of all jobs in the nation. Each certificate documents those specific skills and includes a complete description of each skill and skill level. It certifies that that job seeker has the core employability skills, the soft skills, really what they are, required across multiple industries and occupations. And what we tell our students is, honestly, all of the work keys curriculum is embedded within each other. It all builds upon each other. So my students just did an Earth Day, some Earth Day posters. And I had one student not only, had a group because they worked in teams to gain their team building skills. And so on the poster, it was implementing graphic literacy and applied math. And not only that, but their business communication skills, because they had to work with one another, the active listening, the effective communication. But we had one group use the X and Y axis to make a bar graph. So not only was that math, that was also graphic literacy. So it all builds upon all these skills build upon each other.
And then we're also focusing on learning how to team build.
Yes, and team building, because we know
time management.
Time management, team building, effective communication, because interestingly enough, many people in the job world don't really know how to effectively communicate. And we're trying to give our students those soft skills again, because they have one added obstacle that might get in their way. So we're trying our best to do every single thing we can to help these students succeed. This certificate, it's whether someone has a GED, a high school diploma, associate's degree, post-secondary degree, continuing education certificate, this NCRC further verifies that someone can handle the kind of tasks that are common in today's workplace. So there are 4 levels. There's a bronze, silver, gold, and platinum. So if the students, when they take the work keys assessment, if they score at least a 3, they get a bronze. A 4, there's the silver, the gold, and platinum's the highest. The bronze signifies that the recipient possessed skills for approximately 30% of the jobs. The silver, 65% of the jobs. The gold, approximately 90% of the jobs, and the platinum, about 98% of the jobs. And as we all probably know, the Department of Labor, they focus on credentials. The more, the better. And I actually, I have 2 daughters. One is now working. She graduated from college. The other one is in college. And this work keys assessment is not a bad thing for them to take, because it shows it's just it's something added to their resume. Not only do they have that 4-year degree, but then they have this extra credential added on to their resume to show employers I know these soft skills. So
Okay.
any questions?
No, you know what? I really love that we are embracing work keys for this population again at the college. So what you're saying is head on. I do have some additional questions that I do want to ask you, but I do want to kind of interject and say that this is good information for students that may be listening to this podcast. This is also some good information for community partners.
Yes, ma'am.
As the employment director, one of the things that I see when our students graduate, like you all, is that sometimes when our students graduate, they leave with not a lot of data, marketable data on their resumes. So the obtainment of this credential helps in a lot of different ways, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Right.
Also, there is a database that I could put in the chat box. It is jobprofiles.act.org.
Okay.
And it's a database where what you are qualified or not qualified for according to what you scored on the assessment. Now, will all of our students pass the assessment? Probably not, but that then will give us an eye opener as to what skills do we need to hone on more.
Right.
Right. So it's just wonderful. It's such a systematic curriculum. Dina and I, and then the Tuesday, Thursday instructors, we bring in extra resources. So our goal is to really not to zoom through this information. We really want our students to show us, so we can observe them, that they have really comprehended and are able to apply this information that we have hopefully taught them in a way of to their level,
To their mastery, right?
To their mastery.
Yeah, absolutely. And it goes hand in hand with the employer community.
Yes,
it reminds me one thing that's really similar. Sometimes when we send people to an employer to apply for a job, they ask them to do a program like Prove It, right? So they want you to say, okay, you have Microsoft Office experience. Let me put you on this software, prove your skills to us. So this is really a good way that we're preparing our students for that, and then also helping them to get those badges. So I do have some more questions for you.
Awesome.
So
Great.
Kind of tell me what happens when you first engage a student in the Work Keys program. What happens in the beginning?
Okay, great. Perfect. So when we utilize the Work Keys curriculum with students with intellectual and developmental disabilities, it has been very rewarding, not only for us as instructors. I'm also the program manager, but I do teach the Monday, Wednesday afternoon cohort. But the students are very, very rewarded as well. The systematic online curriculum, the lessons and practice materials, allows for the instructor to present to the whole group, beginning with level 1 and then climbing to the next level after the mastery is met. It also opens up discussion, which allows students to discuss their experiences so that the information is relatable, and they bring in all of their, existing schema into the conversation, which makes the classroom environment so rich and rewarding and fun, and they get so involved. The students can practice, which is our guided practice, which allows for questions while the instructor walks around to assist. It then concludes with quizzes, which is their independent work. It also allows for reteaching and practicing, helping the students become proficient with the missed questions as well as the concepts. Once mastery is met, the final piece will be the students taking the Work Keys assessment.
And if, in fact, I was going to say, so it allows, the online curriculum, if the student feels it needs more practice in an area, it allows you to reset that category.
Yes.
So, and then their different questions will pop up, because like I tell my students, the practice makes perfect.
And what's so great is that they are self-monitoring.
They are
and
self-monitoring.
They see, I've only received 70% on this. I'm going to go back and I'm going to practice and read up on this so that I can try and take the quiz again. And that is golden. We want that for our students.
In fact, I have a story. If I have a few minutes for a few seconds. I had a student, so I had started, it was the Earth Day project, and I had started the lesson, and he's like, Miss Skirka, can I please take over now? And I will tell you,
Mhm.
they had their graphic literacy on the board going on.
Mhm.
They were all having their discussions because we've been
Mhm.
talking about eye contact,
Mhm.
active listening, participation. And then he said, and then after it was all over, he said, may I take a picture to show my mom how I was a leader today?
Mhm.
Oh.
And that gives
It's
me
great,
chills because
yes.
it really does. It makes them feel so successful.
Mhm.
What is our goal? Not only academics, but feeling successful.
Yes.
Um,
And team building
It's-
as they're walking around and they're assisting each other. You know,
Yes.
did you understand the content? Are you okay with that? And they walk around and they help each other out.
yes,
All because of this curriculum that we're using.
Mhm.
Because given the challenges that the students with intellectual and developmental disabilities are facing, the Work Keys curriculum provides the students with the proper supportive measures to
Mhm.
help them gain the confidence to be successful. So they feel self-worthy,
Right.
and that is what we want. We're
Yeah.
hopeful that they will score at least a bronze level, if not higher, to earn the meaningful credential, because we want them to succeed.
right.
Mhm.
And we also know, not only as educators
Right.
and, but as parents too, what do
Mhm.
we, especially this day and time, without mental health is so important as
It
well.
is. It is.
So we can see when our students are getting a little stressed out. We
Mhm.
know then, okay, would y'all like to take a little break?
Yes.
So without the coping skills, academics is just, it's not going to happen.
Mhm.
So with this curriculum, it allows for us to, okay, y'all need a little break. Yes, please. Okay. And we know where to pick right back up.
Right.
I can't say enough good things about it.
Mhm.
I really can't.
Awesome. Awesome. So talk about the different levels and how you measure success.
Perfect. Great question. So the students were pre-tested with the Work Keys assessment at the beginning of the fall 2023 semester.
Mhm.
And from there, we were able to access the level to begin the Work Keys curriculum. We thought it was beneficial to begin at level 1 because we need that foundation.
Yes.
We need to see
Mhm.
where everyone is, and then we can start adding and then progress from there so that the students could begin the year feeling successful and confident rather than down on themselves and try to reach and meet, these high expectations. The students are informally and formally assessed with different techniques, such as independent practice. We do team practice, as we've talked so heavily about.
Yes.
Informal assessments, both orally and written. And then this occurs throughout each lesson to ensure mastery.
You'd be so surprised at how many students say, Miss Garka, I did not learn this in high school.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mhm.
either they forgot over the summer, but that's why level 1 is so important for us to start at level. We can't assume anything.
And a lot of the times when they're given the content in high school and elementary school, it's not taught to mastery. They are given the information and then it's just presented to them and then they have to move on to the next lesson.
No, exactly.
And we are making sure that they're understanding the content so that they can feel successful.
So that's been told to us, and y'all, I keep saying this, but it really is rewarding for us because many times we hear, oh, Ms. Garka, thank you for helping us. Oh, Ms. Webster, thank you for helping us. I don't remember learning this in high school or when I was in school. So we just want the best. And the Work Keys curriculum is such a good resource for presenting those skills that we take for granted.
Yeah, awesome. So Antoinette, how do you support our students as they work through their benchmarks?
So I became VAST part of this wonderful program in January of this year. So, but what I get to do is I get to go in the classrooms on Tuesday and Thursdays, and I work with Ms. Bouchard. But now I'm able to get out. I get pulled out if the other teachers need me, but I get to assist, and I'm seeing such growth in the students just since January, since this semester started. But watching them be able to log in and practice individually, and knowing that It's not a competition.
Mhm.
It's not a race.
That's right. Yep.
They are working on their own individual
Yes,
levels.
ma'am.
Each instructor is starting as a group, and they work on those skills. They introduce those skills. But then when it comes to logging on and getting on their own profile, and the students know that it's not about who's in the next computer. It's this is about me. And it's like she said, it's going to save it. It's going to show them where
Yes.
they are and those areas where they need more practice. And so it shows them, it keeps a percent of it. It shows them that, yes, you're 100% complete in this section. But as she said, if it's only 70%, they know, go back in. I can do better. I can try. That's what we're seeing about it, is that we're seeing the levels, and the students are getting faster. We're noticing that their speed is increasing. And I believe that, like she said, everyone learns in a different level. So we have in different ways. So what we've noticed is that we've been talking to them about communication and how do you learn best? Are you a visual learner? Are you an auditory learner? Are you tactile? And so by learning and teaching the students in all these different ways, we're seeing that they're getting it. And so whether it's we're bringing in flashcards so they can physically touch and hold these cards. But this day and age, these students, it's all about computers. It's all about technology. They have their phones. So that by bringing it on work keys, they're getting worksheets, they're getting flashcards, they're getting, but they're getting it on the computer. So many companies now, they're requiring these computer skills. Got to have computer literacy. So by being on the work keys, they have to be able to sign in, get on their profile, and get online and do this for themselves. A lot of jobs now have modules that they expect employees to complete each month or certain times throughout the year. And so by getting this, it's part of building those work skills that they can take with them. So it's a wonderful, wonderful program, things that I'm seeing in such a short amount of time. But my main thing is that it's building on the level, starting right where they are, and then letting them build up on their own speed.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. One of the things that you said that was really, really key is that we're helping the students to identify what their learning style is. That is key. I think that's something that needs to happen even at, primary education.
Absolutely. Yes.
You know how you're wired and you can recognize that not only transcends into the academic setting, but you take ownership of your learning when you go to work, right? Because a lot of times you're teaching people how to teach you, right? So you're giving them the tools for lifelong success. So thank you for pointing that out, because that's key. If nothing else, knowing how you're wired and how you learn is a huge takeaway. So thank you so much for sharing that. Now, we talked a little bit about how the work keys is embedded into the program. So kind of tell me, how would that be embedded in like a math situation, right? Because one of the things that employers are also looking at, depending on the job, is what their math skills are.
Right. And so many of the math skills, in fact, that's a good point, because I had a student tell me yesterday, she applied for a job. The interviewer said, okay, I need you to figure out in your head, the 8.25% tax on 1585. And I said, wait, they wouldn't let you use a calculator or anything? Nope, they wanted me to do it in my head. And I was like, okay. She's like, I don't think that job's for me. And I said, I'm going to be honest with you. I think for any of us, getting the tax to the percentage right to the penny in our heads would be difficult.
Yeah.
So starting at level,
I wouldn't be able to do it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be able to do it. So starting at level 1,
I have trouble with 10%.
I can do 10%, but I'm not going to be able to do. I mean,
I have trouble with that.
I was like in shock. I was like, but wait, it was a Christian bookstore. And I was like, wait, don't they have like a cash register, like a scanner?
Mhm.
Yeah, but she wanted me to tell her in my head. And I was like, okay. I didn't know what to say. But so our math starts at a level one where the students, and we all take this for granted, but it starts at a level one where the students have to it talks about how it can be difficult when let's say you're counting off. If you're not paying close attention and not listening carefully and aware of what's around you, it is harder than we think. So the students would be like 1, 2, wait, where are we? But by the third lesson of doing that, they were like being able to do it. So it starts very slowly, and now we're on money. And they're seeing that money, that the numbers that they learned in the first, like level one, are carrying over to money. It's all about the same thing. It's all embedded within each other. And it's just their aha moments are just unbelievable. But so I promote this program. I can't say any other, but that's how math is. Now, I guess if the student wanted to really learn how to do 8.25% in their head without any calculator, I'm sure it's in it because they learn percentages, but with the calculator, I would think.
Yeah. Do you find that the students are getting more comfortable with the money aspect of it? Because I know our population,
I do, Sandra, and I was going to also tell you, so this, because the students have their own portals, a lot of times I'll be like, go home and re-practice your independent work at home. That we do most of our work in class because I need to see what my students, what their attributes are, what they need help on. But I do allow them to go home and redo things that we've done in class for extra practice. The money, I'm amazed. Amazed. In fact, we did a hands-on activity 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago. Anthony Timms, he works for TDI Industries. He controls all the AC and electrical here for all of HCC. But he's housed at Spring Branch. So our students did a hands-on activity with him, and so there's copper tubing. Okay, and I said, okay, so what coin's made of copper? The penny. How much is a penny worth? 1 cent. And then the other day I showed them where you could find when coins were made, the date. They had no idea that date told you when that coin was actually, that piece that you have was actually made.
Awesome.
Yeah. Yes. So the way we teach and the way Antoinette and Miss Broussard, it's interdisciplinary
and all
cross-curricular. And another thing, we always make sure our students are taught to the 3 different learning styles: the auditory, the visual, and the hands-on kinesthetic. Because we all learn in different ways.
Yeah, we all learn in different ways. And then some of them need to marry some of those ways.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So that's perfect. So can any level of student, we talked about Monday, Wednesday, Tuesday, Thursday, but I'm not sure if our audience really understands what that means, right?
Yes. Also, what I want to also mention, since COVID, across the board, and I'm not talking just students with IDD, I'm talking about across the board. Students are not at a level that they probably were pre-COVID. So the students that we have in our program here at Spring Branch, our Tuesday, Thursday students are about at a 1st and 2nd grade cognitive level. Our Monday, Wednesday are at a high 2nd to 3rd, maybe a 4th grade's in there somewhere cognitive level. This isn't just for our students. Again, I've talked to people in the high school level. They're now finally seeing maybe the education cognitive is now catching up. But instructors and professors need to realize it's a real thing.
Yeah.
And students really did lose some learning time unless you had a parent on their child reinforcing them during that time. But another thing that really happened during COVID with these kids at home on their computers is the mental health.
Yeah.
Social, emotional health. Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So It's across the board though. So I would definitely say, yeah, I think that any ability level, because we have our, right, Antoinette, our Tuesday, Thursday, there's a lot of first grade cognitive levels sitting in there.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. That's good to know that, it doesn't, that a student's level of academic preparedness can be varied and still benefit
100%.
Yes.
So that's excellent.
Yes.
So what happens if we find that a student is deficient in one area? How do we help them progress to the next level?
So how we start basically is after they have gone through the lessons and we see where they're at percentage wise, then we teach the students individually.
Mm-hmm.
We meet in small groups to refine the understanding of the deficient skill. We bring outside resources, worksheets, books, materials, videos, tactile manipulates, all of those necessary skills and tools to help them to be successful, to not be deficient, and to be efficient in the area, and to be able to work to their ability level.
Right.
I think that one of the very important things that we need to make sure is that we're not teaching for the whole class.
Mhm.
We're teaching to one individual. And then we skim the lesson, teach the content, then have them independently work on it. So then we are able to see
Absolutely.
where their
And that's
needs
where
are.
the hand raising comes. And also another
Right.
thing is a lot of our kids will work with one another. And sometimes I'm okay with that because sometimes their peer explanation is going to be easier for them to comprehend than my explanation.
Yes, and we hear that.
Yeah, we do. And that which promotes active listening, eye contact, team building, because we all know we have to work in a team. So let's do it the best we can.
Okay, awesome. So what other trends have you noticed?
Going from nervous and unsure to feeling happy, content, and self-assured.
Okay.
And we had a student, one of our students didn't want to hear anything about jobs.
No.
Didn't want to hear anything about the job
here
force.
for school. I just want to learn. I want to sit and I want to take my notes and I just want to learn. I don't want to hear about school yet.
About work.
About work, I mean.
No,
School,
right.
silly.
And so we did the food. We're in the food. Oh my God! The food bank
The
over
food
here.
scholarship.
Yeah, food scholarship.
HCC food scholarship.
They partner with us to allow our students to come in and sort. The other day it was potatoes. Well, not only do they sort them, we have an assembly line. In fact, we have pictures of that too. And so we had different stations. We had some sorters. We had students that checked for rotten potatoes. We had students that tallied these. They realized putting things in groups of, once they were in the bag, putting things in groups of 5, tallying 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 was easier than just putting all the tally marks. So they counted up how many bags they had, multiplied that by 10 cents a bag, and that brought the money aspect.
Right.
Well, that student after that came up to us. She had, her face was lit with happiness, saying, I worked. I learned something. I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
Feeling self-assured and being able to come out of her comfort zone and work, do the tasks, see it to its completion, and then learn that this is what work is, and it's not that scary. I can do this. This is something I'm able to do. And so feeling that and having that confidence.
And then proud.
So, right. And then we both received emails from this individual student about it and how excited she was. So yeah, it's really exciting.
And Antoinette was actually in my room yesterday. Antoinette, remember my chain of events?
Yes. And I took a picture of it because I was so proud of them. They wanted to relive it through putting it all on the board, and they drew stick figures of everyone, but they put everyone in their place. They drew pictures of the shopping cart, the stations, tally board.
Yes.
But they really enjoyed it. But that hands-on experience
Mhm.
is something that's so powerful for them because, like she said, it's building their confidence level.
Mhm.
I know a young man that's working his first job now, but it took him a long time to even want to apply for a first job
Mhm.
because he saw his friends and they had IDDs, and he saw how they couldn't keep the jobs because they couldn't keep up with the speed
Yeah.
that the job was requiring. So that really discouraged him, and he didn't even want to try
Mhm.
because he was worried. He was focused on failure before he
Mhm.
even tried. So
Mhm.
that's what's one of the things that is so great about the VAST Academy is that building that confidence. It is so important. It's important for everyone,
Mhm.
but it's so extra important when so many of our students, all they've heard is what they can't do.
Yeah.
Right.
So we're
Haven't
here
learned
to show
helplessness.
them,
Not okay.
yes, you can,
Right.
what you can do.
Yeah. And then to also create an atmosphere of it's okay to not be great at everything, right?
Yes,
I think
yes,
sometimes as even as parents and
Yes.
Yeah.
as educators, we don't want our young adults or our kids to fail in any way. Well,
Mhm.
we learn through that, right?
yes,
And I think that when we set up an environment where you have to be A1 and everything, we do them a disservice because
Absolutely.
when they
Mhm.
get out there, it's about life, and sometimes things
Yeah.
are not going to work well. So,
Right.
and even when you said that they're focusing on communication, right? So knowing how to problem solve and knowing how to work with people with different personalities is
Mhm.
key, right? And one of the things I say to people that your skill set, those hard skills, is what gets you employed, right? But
Yes.
your soft skills, your
Mhm.
ability to teamwork, your ability to time manage, your ability to problem solve, to get along with other people,
You're right.
that is what keeps you on someone's payroll.
yes.
That's right.
Well, and also I'm telling my students eye contact because
Yeah.
I was listening to the radio on my way to work one day, and they said what is the number one skill that keeps people from getting job or keeping their jobs? And I know in my mind it was eye contact. Sure enough, eye contact.
Yeah.
And so I asked my students and I said, what do y'all think it is? And I think one may have said eye contact. So we work on that eye contact with the audience, for who we are speaking. In fact, I had one student yesterday tell me, my mom said my communication is getting so much better. I'm actually making eye contact
Right.
now.
Mhm.
No, from the first class day
Yes.
last semester, I want to say, I said, all right, turn and talk. We turned and talked, and it was turn and talk.
Yeah.
They were not looking at each other. And so that is a skill that they now have
Right.
to be able to look at each other when they're speaking.
And also,
So-
what I want to also say is
Yep.
the courses, not only are they applied math, the graphic literacy, and the workplace documents, there's business writing, there's
Mhm.
customer service, financial awareness, interpersonal and business communication, problem solving and critical thinking, work discipline, working in teams, workplace observation. So it's not just applied math, graphic literacy,
Right.
and workplace documents. It is a full curriculum that actually it seems to go pretty well with what the VAST degree plan has currently on there.
Mhm.
As we all know, it's just it all is embedded within each other. Like
Mhm.
Sandra, like you said, when you do a job, you're not just doing that job.
Mhm.
Right.
You have a ton of hats
Yes,
on,
you do.
and working with other people is really the number one key in that community. If you don't understand something, ask a question.
Feeling
Mhm.
safe, secure in your environment. That's
Right.
number one. Being able to also have a nice conversation with your colleagues. That's
Right.
another. And then feeling confident in what you're about to say. That is also key.
Body
So,
language,
the body language,
tone.
right.
We talk about that.
Yep.
Anyway, so
Yeah. So
things about it.
if you were talking with an educator and they were listening to everything that all three of you had to say about work keys, and they thought, I wonder if this is something that can happen in my classroom, what would be some best practices that you would share with them on how to set up their learning environment so that they could implement work keys? Because I'm pretty sure like by now you have some best practices, some things that work
Correct. Well, I would start off with the whole group lesson. We go through the first lesson 1 of work keys. We practice that as a whole group. We then bring in other resources, and really conversation with the work keys opens up.
well. Okay.
The students, in fact, it's funny that you say that, because we have a high school that we gave a presentation to a couple of weeks ago.
Yes.
Then we started talking about how we've implemented this work keys curriculum. The director of the program at this high school said, I want to know more about that. Their bus was leaving. They are now scheduled to come back on March 28th for the work keys presentation of it.
Yay, how exciting.
So they can hear about
They want to hear more about it.
Yeah, that's exciting. So do you find that there's anything specific that has to be set up in the classroom? Do they need so much instructional time and more computer time?
It depends on the lesson, honestly,
Right.
Sandra, because sometimes I will pre-plan, and then I will over-plan just to make sure I have enough information. But I present the information to the students. If they are able to move on to the next lesson, well, I already know what's next, and I already have that plan, so we'll go on to the next section. But a lot of the times we stop, we practice the activity, the assignments together, and then they move on. I don't give them more than 15 minutes to do independent practice on the modules, because then that's when they start to get a little, antsy, and it's a little too much of independent time. So I think that is probably,
I think we're just flexible.
Yeah, it just depends. And then I do checks, body checks, and seeing how they are with the curriculum and how they feel.
Right.
So, and
absolutely.
if they need a break, then we take a break.
Awesome. So right now we're really almost at a close. I do have one question.
Sure.
I think this would be our first graduation class maybe that we've had since we've started the work keys curriculum. Do we have any graduates that have earned any credentials that?
Okay, sure. Not Tuesday, Thursday, but Monday, Wednesday, when we actually had pre-tested them. We have one that went from a silver a bronze to a gold.
Yes.
Okay. Yay.
So I'd have to, Ken actually has the information, because he's the one that tested them, and so did all of them place? No, but there was growth in several of them, and I think that now with the curriculum being done the correct way, we're going to see. We do know this is not a 1-year curriculum.
Yeah,
this is definitely for success, a 2-year curriculum, and so we're not going to actually. I'm not planning on testing my students until the end of. Right before they graduate.
Right.
Okay.
Which would be spring of 2025.
Right.
Yes. Awesome. And then this is a good segue into those students that are getting ready to graduate, or even as we plan for next graduation year, that we transition them to other parts of the college where they are going to continue to grow and earn digital badges, get industry recognized certification, and maybe even go on to associate degrees.
I do know that we have 2 very good advisors here at Spring Branch that work with our students, and so what we like to do is there's so many apprenticeships and level 1 certificates now that we think it's a good idea if we meet with the parents. The parents will usually reach out to us if their students are wanting to move on to post-secondary. I call it post-secondary after VAST.
Yes.
And so some are not. And so we just try to work with the parents to see what best fits their student.
Okay.
So, but there's so many, like I tell these parents, I send them the link for I email them the link for the apprenticeships and for the level 1 certificates, because with our students, a level 1 certificate is, they're sometimes just maybe a few months, like CNA certificate. And so they can do that, get the hands-on experience. So
Yeah.
it just depends on what the student is interested in. That after us, that's when we go have them talk to Mr. Austin or Miss Reed.
Awesome. So Dina, Elise, Antoinette, you guys have done an awesome
This
job.
was actually fun.
It was, yes.
And you did a great job too, Sandra.
So you guys were very informative.
you.
You gave a really good presentation on what we do for Work Keys. I really like the fact that all three of you shared some, real life examples
Yes.
that our parents, if there's parents that are watching, or students or prospective students,
Yes.
so that they can get a really good feel of what's happening on our campus, and
Yes.
then especially the enthusiasm from the top to all levels of support that's happening throughout HCC-VAST.
Yes.
So thank you so much.
Well, thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you for everything, Sandra.
Student success is extremely important to us, and that is, the reason why we're here.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
It's like a service, really.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So EJ, are there any last takeaways or questions that you might have for us?
Excellent.
All right.
All right.
Okay. Thank you, EJ. We appreciate it.
And I think
It's been great. I think we lost Antoinette.
I know.
But this has been great. I love listening to all of this. And I can't wait to hear what we talk about next meeting, which is for the VAST program every other Thursday at 2:30 Central, 3:30 Eastern. So our next date will be March 21st. Again, it's been great. I always love listening to what's going on at the Houston Community College with this. And I think we just got Antoinette back. Yay!
Here,
There
hi, Antoinette.
she is. I popped out at one point too. Yeah, the internet tends to pop us in and out every once in a while.
Yes.
But it's been a great program, and I loved hearing the advances that even just in a few that Antoinette has seen just since January.
Oh, right.
That just is such a testament to what kind of a program this is.
And Antoinette's been a
So,
pleasure
all
to
right.
have,
Well,
and it's such an
yeah.
asset
Mm-hmm.
Thank
to
you.
Spring Branch. So no, it's true.
I love our team and what we do here. It's amazing work.
Yay.
It's so fulfilling. So
It really is,
Yes,
and we
it really
appreciate
is.
you too.
Yes.
thank you.
Of course.
All right.
All
Great.
right. Thank you.
Well,
all.
once again, a special thanks to our special guests who joined us today, and to our supporters who air our programs on their platform. Zach Clayton of the PAC, Jay Stoy, Disabilities, Lawrence Wingate of Wingate Studios. Like I said before, we definitely appreciate their participation and support. So be sure to go out, look at our web pages and our social media groups and YouTube channel, all those places where we are. Check out jensbooksandmore.com, which is our website. Shows what all we've got going on and all the other podcasts that we support and work with over each week. So fantastic meeting all of you. Till
Nice
next
meeting you
time,
too.
I hope
Nice
everybody
to meet you
has
too.
a wonderful week, and joy, be productive, and stay healthy. Thanks,
Thank
everybody.
you. You too.
We'll see you
We
next
appreciate
time.
it.
Bye.
Thank
you.
you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
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 Okay, we
All
are
right.
out.